Welcome, friends. Welcome, friends. My name is Max, and I am your community manager here at Work at Health. If you are new to Work at Health, we are the leader in virtual addiction care that allows you to recover from home with online support and medication. Please check us out at workathealth.com. And tonight we are honored to present Buen Provecho con Mariam, a live cooking class to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month and the integration of food, culture, and recovery. We are joined by Chef Mariam O'Donnell of La Cocina, care specialist Beatrice Viso, regulatory and accreditation coordinator Jazz Quintana, and to kick us off and say a few words about Hispanic Heritage Month is our Northeast Director of Behavioral Health, Ashley Lopez. Ashley?
Thank you, Max. Hello, everyone. I'm Ashley Lopez, Northeast Director of Behavioral Health, and I want to say bienvenidos, or welcome to our Hispanic Heritage Month event. Hispanic Heritage Month, it began on September 15th and ends on October 15th. Our mission, this HHM, as we've been lovingly calling it, is to foster a working comunidad. So that's a community. And we thought it was best to share our culture with the love language of many Hispanic and Latina communities with comida, or food. So let's get started with Chef Mariam and Beatriz.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Today we're going to be making shrimp ceviche, but not just any ceviche. We're going to use coconut. So it's going to be a coconut ceviche with shrimp. And I went ahead and cleaned most of them out before chopping them, but I left a few so that you can just, if anybody wanted to see how
to do it right.
I devein. You have to devein the shrimp. It's peeled and clean, but you still have to devein it. So you kind of do a little incision in the back, and you see this little black line. You just have to take it out. Well, this one was very little, but still. It's hard to see, probably hard to see, but it's there.
It is hard, yeah.
So I have 3 more to do. Maybe this one's a little bigger. You go in the back. Oh, look, this one's way bigger.
Yeah, we can see it's a little bit bigger, but no, you cannot see it in the camera, maybe.
Right there?
Yeah, but yeah, it is important to clean it, right?
Yeah, it is important to clean it because technically, like the intestinal tract of the shrimp. Nothing will happen if you eat it, but it's just better if you don't. It's cleaner, has cleaner taste. And always make sure, if you're gonna do this kind of ceviche, in this method that I'm doing, which is cooking it with lime, to make sure that it's the freshest possible. Sometimes if you go to the store and you can smell it and it smells a little fishy, it's not fresh. And another way that you can do this is that you can blanch it. So you can boil it for literally a minute on very salty water.
So you recommend to boil it if it's not fresh?
If it's not the freshest you can find, I will probably boil it for no more than a minute. And then you put it in ice water, and then you put it in ice water, and you do the rest of the recipe, but it's already cooked in the water. Today, I got this today from Whole Foods. Smells super clean, super fresh. So right now I'm just gonna chop it in small cubes. I'm gonna this bowl, and I'm gonna show you the size, just kind of like little size, like this, just so that it can marinate well in the lime juice. And all the ingredients, and like every bite size would be nice to have a little chunk of shrimp. This is also a very healthy dish.
It looks really nice. Can you do it with something else for vegan people, like people
for
that
vegan? Yeah, that's a great question. So I have done coconut ceviche with just the coconut meat. If you get a young coconut, you can get that meat and chop it up too, and do the same recipe with the young coconut or with palmitos, the heart of palm. They
Okay.
usually come in a can, and you just dice it, or it's a little cylinder, so you just chop it off
And
same
the
way.
process is the same.
The process is the same. I mean, maybe I will cut off. I'm gonna show in a second when I'm done chopping the shrimp. The first step for me, whenever I make ceviche, I always do this and then put some lime juice. And these lime juice will be thrown out. It's just the first kind of cooking that's happening on the ceviche, and it also kind of cleans it.
I feel like this is a great activity to do with your family, with friends, because it gives you like the sense. First, the thing that you can, like know more ingredients that you can be eating.
But you spend time with your family. When you're cooking on the kitchen, you're
Yeah.
spending time. It's a healing process. You're bond with your loved ones. And when you're cooking and sharing a meal, there's so much more that goes into than just.
Yeah. And being mindful of what you're putting into your body, it's very important.
It's very important to be mindful to what you're putting in your body. So when
Yeah.
you cook it yourself, and you go shopping for the best possible ingredients, you're doing it for your body to heal too. Okay, I'm almost done with this chopping process.
You're doing great. You're really fast.
Well,
just be careful, of course, if you are not as fast as Mariam.
there's another note in here that I want to point out. I have a cutting board on top of my other cutting board just because this is raw. And this is just for cross-contamination purposes. You don't want to put all the ingredients with the raw food.
Okay, that's a great advice.
Yes, so
Good tip.
this cutting board, when I'm done chopping, this is gonna go in the sink. And I'm gonna rinse out my knife.
Okay, why did you become a chef?
Why did I become a chef? Well, I started chef school actually in Mexico 15 years ago. I never finished the one in Mexico. So this is my dirty cutting board. This is gonna go, and I'm gonna wash this knife. I like to cook. I grew up cooking with. I mean, my mom cooked, so I grew up seeing people cook around me. Home cooked meals were part of my everyday life.
That was the lemon, it was already juiced, right?
Oh yeah, so I juice these limes. I will never use lime juice that's pre-bottled on this. It will never taste the same.
Okay.
This is freshly squeezed. I did it before just so that you didn't see me squeezing all the lime juices. So I'm putting some lime juice in this raw shrimp. And you will be, for a pound of shrimp, I will do about 3/4 of a pound. And you want the shrimp to kind of swim freely in there. Not like tight. So it will be about a little less than a cup. Then to this shrimp is gonna go in the fridge, but not yet because I have a couple things that I'm gonna put in there first. To this is where all the flavor is gonna start penetrating on the shrimp. So I'm gonna add 1 clove of garlic.
And I would recommend to put lemon or lime in everything that you can. It's so healthy. so healthy.
It's good vitamin C. It's good
vitamin C. It's a great way to absorb iron in your body.
I use this microplane because we want it the smallest possible. You don't want big chunks of garlic on this. So very, very small. There it goes. And also this will need some salt. And this may sound weird to some, but I use always, when I'm using some sort of acid or dressing or something that's gonna require a lot of citrus, I usually use some sugar.
Okay, and that's why?
it just rounds up the flavor.
Okay.
So to this, to the 1 pound of shrimp, I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon, and this is one of the measuring spoons, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And maybe a little cracked pepper.
I didn't know that about the sugar.
Yes,
That's great.
sugar, and
Wow.
people think like, oh, added sugar, yes, then it's 1 teaspoon, but it just makes the flavor completely different.
Mm,
Cuts off a little bit of this.
okay.
And then we just let this, this is gonna go in the fridge for 20 minutes. If this stays in this lime juice for more than 20 minutes, it will be fine, but you can see that the shrimp is going to start toughening up a little bit. And it's completely fine because there's gonna be leftovers and you eat it the next day and it will be just as delicious. Just the texture, if you want it super soft and silky, 20 minutes is all you need.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put a cover on that.
Okay. Jans, do you want to go ahead and give some information while we put the shrimp on the
Yeah, for sure. So it's awesome that y'all brought up, our theme comunidad and the fact that cooking is such an important part of family, especially for the Latina community. And it's really important for us to talk about this during HHM because right now the Hispanic and Latina community makes up about 18% of the US population, but we're growing, we're here. By 2060, we're going to be making up about a third of the whole US population. So it's really important for us to highlight, why we love our community so much, make sure that it's known about our differences, our love for food, our culture, music, things like that, because we're going to be such a big part of the states as we keep growing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Such a good news that we're working on that.
for sure.
Okay, so we have 20 minutes while this shrimp is just hanging out in the fridge. We're gonna make the sauce or the little dressing that goes with the ceviche. And that's where the coconut milk comes, the coconut ceviche.
Can I open it?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to do something.
There you go. Let me get some more gloves.
Okay.
I was saying something before with the shrimp. Oh yeah, so I started studying to become a chef in Mexico. But then I got the opportunity to come to Austin to study at Le Cordon Bleu. And it was only going to be a year, and I was going to go back to Mexico and finish my degree in Mexico. But I graduated here, and I met my husband, and I started working here, so I just stayed here. But so it's been a while since I started cooking. I was pretty young. And then we need the measuring cup, this one right here. So for the dressing, I would do half and half on lime juice and coconut milk. And this, if you have a coconut milk and usually they separate, right? You have like the thick layer on top and then the watery. I'll try to shake it as much as possible, or get one like this that has guar gum. It's one of the ingredients. It is a fine, and it just helps for the coconut milk not to separate. So it's better if it's separated, just mix it real well, shake it so that it's not separated. So I'll do half a cup of coconut milk. And this save it is very good if you're gonna make a curry. Don't throw it away. It's good stuff. And half a cup of lime juice. And to this, the same I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar.
Oh, they want sugar.
Here's my salt. I'm using, there's also another note I want to say. I'm using kosher salt versus regular table salt. Table salt is a little more salty than kosher. So if you're using table salt, I'll maybe use half the amount of salt. I like the kosher. It's the best tasting to me. Sometimes the table salt or the iodinized salt can give a little bit of a metallic aftertaste to the food.
Did you know that? I have no idea.
So I like to use the
Good to know.
kosher. Diamond crystal kosher is my favorite salt. So this is this little box, and we're gonna reserve this. And I'm gonna start chopping the other ingredients that are gonna go in the ceviche. I'm gonna do, just because we're gonna make it kind of fancier than it really is, instead of mixing all the herbs in the ceviche, I'm gonna make like a little herb puree. We're gonna make it look pretty on top. So for this, I'm gonna use my little NutriBullet or whatever it's called. So I'm gonna use a little handful of cilantro. I'm gonna say, let's say that is about half a cup of the leaves, and put them in there.
Okay.
One more. I'm gonna do some mint. And this is also, some people don't use mint on ceviche. Since I like using different herbs. Sometimes I use basil, but to me, on the coconut ceviche, I like using the mint leaves because it just gives it this kind of fresh, tropical, to me, feel. I mean, mint and coconut just go well together. So a little bit, I would say about a quarter cup. So half a cup of cilantro and then maybe a quarter cup of mint. And then to this, I add one whole serrano. You can leave this out if you don't want it spicy, but I like it a little bit spicy. So I'm gonna add the whole serrano in there. And
It's gonna be spicy.
I mean, it's not, because you only
No?
do a little bit drops.
Okay.
You know, you decorate it.
everything,
Yeah,
okay.
you decorate your ceviche. And a little bit of garlic. This is a big clove of garlic, so I think I'm gonna just do half. This is a really big one. I don't know if you can see it. And do half of it.
It's amazing the way you peel the garlic, because it can take me like forever.
It's pretty annoying. It's nobody likes peeling garlic.
No.
It's very, very annoying. And then to this, I also add salt. Salt is the most important ingredient
In food.
in food. You don't add salt, it tastes like nothing. So to this, I'm gonna add maybe half a teaspoon of salt. There we go. And some olive oil. Let me get a measuring cup just to make sure how much I'm using.
And we did share the ingredients. I don't know if you have them in the invite, but of course, if someone wants the ingredients, we can send them to you.
So this is about a quarter cup. Maybe I'll need a little more, but we'll see. I'm gonna puree this. It's already smells so good with the mint and the garlic and the serrano. Right? It smells spicy, but it smells so good. Okay, so this is gonna get a little loud for a second. Hold on.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it just because it's gonna be a little loud. If you want to share something else.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely talk a little bit more about that. So as Max introduced us as Work It, a substance use telehealth organization and company, one of the interesting things about the Latina community is there are so many different subgroups, and a lot of these groups have differing rates of their interactions or their relationships with substances and substance use. So, you know, we have Mexicans, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Venezuelans. So one of the really interesting things about Work It Health with knowing that information is because it's a organization that you can do from home. You can work with your coach, with your providers, with your counselors to kind of get this whole faceted approach to recovery. And especially for people like me that are in a Latina community or identify as Puerto Rican, sometimes it's hard because of the stigma that there's still around about substance use in the Latina community. So things like Work It Health or having these organizations or opportunities to meet with your family and to work on that recovery path, a recovery journey that we all have, is really interesting. And I always love to talk about how this is a great platform for Latina communities because you have that interaction and that comunidad at Work It, and then we have comunidad at home.
O sea, no tiene acidez, pero no me parece.
Good. Thank you, Jazz.
Okay, so we have the oil, well, puree. I would call it puree.
It's spicy.
Yes, but again, this is only to decorate it, and you can leave the serrano out, but I like the serrano on it. You'll see when it's ready. You'll see how it looks. So here it is. So pretty. And then I'm gonna go now moving to the veggies that go on the ceviche. So I'm using cucumber, some white onion, and more serrano, which you can also leave out. Do you want serrano on it?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. You can always leave it out.
I know, right? I am from Mexico City and I should be like accustomed to eat spicy food. But
When you live in the US for a long time, you
I
get
stop eating spicy food.
yes,
and
yes.
It happens.
It does happen. It happens to me. I don't eat as nearly as much as I used to when I was younger. Okay, so you can chop this any shape you want, but since I did the shrimp kind of small, I would like it to be kind of even on size. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Is it special cucumber? Or
This
not?
is, yes, sorry. This is an English cucumber.
Oh, okay.
I like this one because I don't have to peel it.
Okay.
The other one, the skin's a little tougher, and the
It's
seeds
harder.
and the seeds are bigger. So I have to de-seed it and I have to peel it,
Okay.
which is completely okay. But this is just saves time, and I like how it looks. The green skin on
lighter.
it.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to peel it, so you can see the skin. You know. So I'm just gonna cube it.
Professional.
How long you think it's been that the shrimp's been on the fridge?
It's a good question. I don't know, maybe 15 minutes.
15. Let me see it. Let me take it out because I can start maybe putting the cucumber in there. So you can see that the skin, the outer skin turned opaque.
Okay.
So I don't know if you can
Yeah, you
see
can see
it.
it. I don't know.
It's not as translucent. It's still, it needs a little more time. I'm gonna leave it there in 5 more minutes, but the color starts changing because of the acid on the shrimp.
Okay.
I'll just wait 5 more minutes.
So if you're not giving the cooking class, you can cook this in like, I don't know, 25 minutes, right? Only because you have to wait for the shrimp to cook, but could be in 25, 30
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, this is the quick thing. And you can have all of these things made ahead, like the chopping and the little dressing, it can be made ahead.
Yeah.
It's a quick thing. And if you boil the shrimp instead of doing it raw, like I'm doing it today, you don't have to let the shrimp sit in the fridge.
That's right, it's gonna be faster.
So it's way faster.
Yeah.
But I mean, it tastes, I like it when it's raw. If you can find good seafood, you can make this ceviche with fish as well, not just with shrimp. If you can find the best seafood and make the real ceviche, it tastes way better than when you boil it. But you know, it's always could be a hazard to eat raw seafood. You go to a restaurant, they're gonna tell you that.
Mariam, I have a question, if you don't
Yeah.
mind. So when we're talking about using fish, are there specific kinds of fish, like maybe the white type of fish, or
That's a good question.
yeah.
So I like using cod for ceviches, but snapper will be good. So you can do ceviche with anything. The real key is that it's fresh.
Okay.
You know, just go and ask in the grocery store, say what's the freshest fish you have, and that is a good choice.
I always prefer to eat raw fish if I do it myself in my house, actually, than going to a restaurant because you never know.
I mean, restaurants are supposed to have like very high quality control,
Yeah.
but some restaurants just don't, and your life depends on them. So if you do it at home, you have the control of your own food and your own cooking. With this. So it's like just like a small dice, the same size as the shrimp.
Okay.
Mariam, I also have a question,
Yeah.
piggybacking on Ashley, because I'm so excited to eat my own ceviche later. What do you recommend having with the ceviche? Like, what are your go-tos?
That's also a good question because we were talking about how we would serve it.
Yeah.
And we got some tortilla chips, just like this ones. You know, and with the cup and you have a little bite of tortilla chip and you bite of ceviche. Or you can do with saltines. Saltines work really well too. Or tostada. You serve it, you put tostada and you put some avocado on the bottom, smash it up and put the ceviche on top and you just take bites of the tostada.
I love that.
So whichever you want, or with rice. I love ceviche and rice together.
That's a great idea.
Like in the combination of temperatures too, like warm rice and then the cold ceviche and then you eat it. It's really up to you. But today we brought some tortilla chips,
Cool.
which also work really good.
Awesome. I love
And this serrano, I like slicing it almost like you can see through, because you get one bite of this and it'll get you. But when you get like a very sliced, like thinly sliced pepper, it's just delicious.
Do you take the seeds? I believe. Do you take the seeds?
I don't. I
You
did
don't?
not today. You want? I have another
it's
one.
okay. I'm just asking
You
because
can always do that. You can always take the seeds, slide in half, take the seeds out, and that would take some heat out too. I didn't today.
no, it's okay. It's okay. But it's like if someone wants like not
Yes.
so spicy.
You can.
peppers.
You can also do a jalapeno. Jalapeno is not as spicy.
What about the taste?
The taste is a little different. I like serrano taste better.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna do the whole thing because the closer you go to the end, the spicier it gets. So I'm gonna leave this one out.
But you know.
Yep. So I'm gonna put this in here. And some I'm gonna do a whole half. Well, I mean, a whole half of an onion. And again, this one also I want to slice very thin. I personally love onion, but I hate when you go to a restaurant and you take a huge, like they slice it so thick and then you like huge bite of onions in your mouth. And
Everything
gross.
tastes.
And everything tastes like, so again, like the thinnest possible, you can see through.
What is the difference? I mean, I love purple onion.
I like purple onion too. This is a little bit of sharper.
It's sweeter, right?
No, the
It's
purple
not?
onion is sweet.
It's sweeter.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So this one's a little bit more of a stronger taste.
Okay.
For ceviches, I like this one.
Okay.
Also, the purple onion releases the color when it's sitting on like liquid.
That's
So it will
right.
kind of color the entire thing a little bit. For salads, it's really good to use the purple onion, which they call it red onion in English, purple onion in Spanish,
Oh, that's right.
and then it's red onion in English.
But everyone understood because they're Hispanic, like me.
Yes.
Right?
Well, this one, I'm just trying to make it super thin, almost like ribbons.
That was good.
I have
My-
another question. I'm sorry, Jazz. One more question from Mariam. And I feel silly asking it, but there's no stupid questions, right? So
No
There's
stupid
not.
question.
when you go to, or when I go to a Peruvian restaurant in my neighborhood, right? They also make ceviche and they call the sauce leche de tigre, right?
Let's
Tigre.
yes.
Is that like, where does that even come from? Do you know, or do you call the sauce something different? I just
No, so there's 100 types of ceviches. The Peruvian ceviche, well, I think the ceviche came from Peru, like the first people that did ceviche is Peruvian people. The leche de tigre, it's pureed and they put it on the blender and they put raw fish on the puree with garlic and some onion and some lime juice and it becomes white. So it has a whiter, but it does not, like you could add coconut, but technically it doesn't have coconut milk on it, but it has the raw fish. So that's the leche de tigre. So you put the raw puree, it's how you say it?
Fish.
Yeah, the fish is pureed into the sauce.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, thank you. I
It's
learned something.
delicious.
It is so good.
Yes. Okay, so I'm taking this out now of the fridge. I'm going to get rid of this lime juice. I already did what it needed to do, which is cook slightly the fish, give it the acidity, and clean it. It kind of takes some like all the if there's any impurities, you're kind of cleaning it a little bit. So this I'm gonna get rid of. And I'm just gonna put it on there's a strainer in there. And all that goes away, but the flavor is there. The garlic is in there and all that's in there. So there we go. So now I can just left the shrimp. I'm gonna add all my veggies in.
I am so ready.
And the little sauce that we made.
Mm.
I want all of it in there. Just mix. My favorite tool in the kitchen is always my hands. It's the easier thing to do. And you can let this sit for a minute or two, but if you want to eat it straight away, you can.
I do.
I'm going to serve this with avocado with the oil and the tortilla. Sorry, my cat's crying. She's in the room. Let me get a plate and we'll plate it real nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Get rid of all this dirty stuff.
So that's it.
That's it.
I mean, the avocado and then the.
I mean, I want to show it. I want to show it in the camera. This is how it looks. I know you can see. This is how it looks.
So good. It's good. It's very, I mean, a lot of nutrients in this plate.
Oh yeah, coconut milk and
Easy to
herbs, cilantro, lime juice. It's full of protein. Okay, so I have the avocado. I'm just gonna put the avocado on top. If I had tostada, I would put the tostada in the bottom. I love tostadas. Some ceviche. I think I'm gonna open the door for my cat. I'm sorry.
A little.
There you go. Yeah. She was crying. She was crying a lot.
Mariam, I have a quick question.
Yes.
So at least I'm from Florida. So Hass aguacate versus like the Florida aguacate, which would you prefer? Which would you go for with this recipe, or what's the difference between the two?
I would go for the Hass avocado just because that's what I'm more familiar with. But I'm sure the Florida one will work just fine. You just want that kind of fattiness and creaminess of the avocado to cut it through. Plus ceviche and avocado just go together, to make, in my opinion.
Yeah, I realized I said aguacate also because Puerto Rican, I always forget avocado is aguacate.
Yeah.
And then some of these herbs. Again, instead of, you don't have to do this puree. You can add the mint and the cilantro into the bowl with the mixture of ceviche. I just like how it looks. And then you get the bite of like the intense herb. And it's so good, yes. So you have it. I wish I could, I don't know if I should grab the laptop and just put it in there.
The laptop, I don't know if you can Yummy. That's it. It's
Really good. Well, let's try. You
simple.
want to
Yeah,
try?
of course.
Okay.
I'm just here for that.
Oh, and the tortilla chip. Hold on. So here's your fork.
Here, Satan. Thank you.
We'll put some in here.
If you have like any questions, you want to know or ask Mariam.
I think we should also explain, that buen provecho means bon appetit or enjoy in Spanish. So that's what these ladies are doing right now. And hopefully you get to do so at home when you follow along to this recipe.
So good.
So fresh, so clean. And again, right now the shrimp is nice and tender. It hasn't sit in the acidity for too long. But if it sits in the acidity until tomorrow, that's okay. It's just gonna be a little
So
tougher.
good. And yes, what you were saying, Ashley, buen provecho, we use buen provecho, buen provecho a lot in Mexico, no, like Latin America. It's like enjoy. I know that they don't use it a lot here in the US. They say enjoy, but buen provecho, it's like that meaning of
Enjoy your meal.
enjoy
Your stay with your dinner with your family, with your
Yeah.
friends. Enjoy your entire experience on the table.
It's experience on the table. That's
Your
a good
experience on the
place. Yeah.
table, yes.
We use it a lot.
So
buen provecho.
buen provecho.
I'm gonna have a little bit more.
Yeah, you see, and it's not too spicy. You think that
No.
it might be because it has a lot, but it just gives it enough.
I just want to mention that if y'all didn't know that you should be on the Food Network before, now you know. This was absolutely amazing. I have a question for all the panelists, and that is the connection between stress relief and cooking, especially for folks in recovery. I myself am in recovery. I feel, let's say, neutral about cooking for myself, but I love watching cooking shows and I find it a form of stress relief. And from your own experience or working with people in recovery, I was just kind of wanted to know what y'all thought of that.
Okay. I would like, are you asking off?
Was your question first, right?
Yeah, for all the panelists, including Jazz and Ashley, sorry.
I want to say thank you for letting me doing this. It was something completely different that I've never done, and I just talking about what I'm doing. It makes the whole thing different, experience different to me because I cook. I'm cooking all the time, but I never have to I don't know how to explain it. It was good to me. It was good for me. So it's thank you.
Yeah, and for if someone is in the recovery addiction part and wants to look for an activity, different activity, this is great because you use different cognitions that connect to your brain, to what the tools you are using. You're tasting the food. So there are so many things that are going on there. That part of being mindful of what you're putting in your body, it's really important as well.
And just cooking, it's I think it's a healing activity.
It is many skills you're using at the same time.
Activity.
And at the end, you're enjoying it. Something that you can enjoy, and it's something that you can do with people. Sometimes when you are in recovery, you think that you have to be isolated. And it's not true. This is a great activity you can do with your peers and family.
And then you get to sit down and share the meal.
Yeah.
And talk to the people you love. And then it's like, again, it's like mealtime, dinner time should be an experience. It's not just about eating and just shoving the food in your face. Mealtime should be an experience.
Yeah.
I want to add to that, that cooking is a form of self-care, right? We talk about self-care and what that looks like, and a lot of people think, oh, it's either going to see a therapist or going, self-care is working out, but self-care can be in your kitchen as well. Self-care is taking care of what you're putting into your body, what you're sharing with others, what you're sharing for self. I think it's a wonderful practice. And it's also, if you don't know how to cook, right, it's pretty simple to learn as long as you have the recipe, as long as you have your ingredients, as long as you're following along step by step. I think it's a wonderful new practice for people who haven't explored in the kitchen just yet. And I'm going to go one further. For me, personally, the act of washing my dishes is super therapeutic to me. I don't know what it is about it, like in my cognition, but just like that, the repetition of moving my sponge around the dish and wiping away something that was once, dirty, or something that was once marred or stained, and making that clean and new again. It just holds some like symbolic meaning to me. So I hope that sharing that with you all, you can kind of take washing your dishes into a new appreciation, and turning it into a therapeutic practice for you all too.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah, no,
Ashley needs to come to my house because I don't like washing dishes. Yeah, like everybody said, one of the things I used to also help cook with one of my tios who was living in recovery, on his journey in recovery. And one of the things that he would always say was he's actually physically moving his body. He's actually having that tactile sensation to food. And like Beatriz was saying, you have different senses, especially if you're cooking with someone alongside you. You're listening to them, you're smelling, you can taste test as you go, because I'm a taste test fanatic. But it's one of those things where, like Ashley saying, self-care, and like a recipe like this, self-care doesn't have to be hours long. It can be a quick meal, within 30 minutes too.
yeah.
I would recommend that. Start small. There are so many recipes, because sometimes you think about cooking and, like Jazz said, like so many hours, so complicated. So just start small. Start doing very simple things. And from there.
And right now, you go on YouTube, you can find a tutorial to make anything.
Yeah.
I feel like getting some spaghetti and meatballs, and there'd be a tutorial for spaghetti and meatballs or whatever. There just is.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That was so beautifully said. All right. Well, again, thank you so much for sharing your gift with us, Chef Mariam. Really appreciate you coming here tonight and just sharing your gift. And on behalf of everyone here at Work at Health, thank you so much for coming out tonight for this amazing event. If you have an idea for an event, please reach out to me at community@workathealth.com. And unless there's anything y'all would like to end on, I'm going to go cook something for myself.
I'm gonna eat this.
Yes.
I know.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you again. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes.
Buen provecho.
Thanks, everyone.